In just 90 seconds, someone stole $230 million worth of cryptocurrency. No guns, no masks, no high-speed getaway, just a laptop, Wi-Fi, and a plan. The mastermind behind it all wasn't a shadowy hacker group or a criminal syndicate. It was a 20-year-old kid from Singapore. For a few surreal weeks, he lived like a billionaire. There were Lamborghinis in the driveway, penthouses overlooking the city, and nights in Miami clubs where $500,000 disappeared before sunrise. It was fast, loud, and reckless, a fantasy built on digital fortune. But every fortune leaves a trail, and his would lead straight to the FBI. Before we dive in, I'm trying to reach my first big goal of 1,000 subscribers. If you enjoy true stories like this one, please hit that subscribe button. It really helps. All right, let's rewind the story and see how it all began. The boy behind the screen. Before his name was tied to one of the biggest crypto heists in history, Malone Lamb was just another face in the crowd. A quiet, unassuming kid whose life seemed ordinary from the outside. He grew up in the peaceful, middle-class neighborhood of Choa Chu Kang in Singapore, a place more known for routine and reliability than for producing digital masterminds. There were no signs of headlines or heists in his future. His childhood was calm, structured, and predictable, until you looked a little closer. While most teenagers were hanging out after school, Malone was at home with the glow of a monitor lighting up his room. Headset on, eyes locked in, he'd spend hours gaming, tinkering, experimenting. But he wasn't just playing, he was studying. He wanted to know how these systems worked, how they could be broken, and what happened when people trusted a system that wasn't as secure as it looked. That curiosity quickly turned into an obsession. He learned how to mask IP addresses, bypass digital barriers, automate small exploits, not to steal, but to test himself. Online, he wasn't a teenager from Singapore anymore. He was Greaves, a sharp, fast-thinking digital native who understood the internet like it was his second language. In that world, age didn't matter, only skill did, and Malone had plenty of it. By 17, gaming wasn't enough. He began flipping crypto tokens, trading NFTs, and exploring how money really moved online. It wasn't about greed, it was about mastery, about understanding how digital wealth was created, transferred, and sometimes lost. For Malone, it was never about winning a game. It was about rewriting the rules of it. And that mindset, that hunger to outthink the system, would soon push him across a line that couldn't be uncrossed. Crossing borders, breaking codes. In late 2023, Malone left Singapore for the United States. To most people, it looked like a young man chasing new opportunities. In reality, he was chasing something much bigger: freedom, anonymity, and a new playground for his skills. He landed quietly, blending into online circles filled with programmers, traders, and digital hustlers. Hidden behind usernames and encrypted chats, he found people who thought the way he did, curious, fearless, and a little dangerous. That's where he met Jandiel Serrano, a 21-year-old from Los Angeles who had the same taste for risk. Serrano wasn't a genius coder or an expert hacker, but he was bold and persuasive. Together, the two formed an unlikely partnership, one with technical precision on one side and social charm on the other. Their goal wasn't to crack a code or break into a bank. They wanted something cleaner, smarter, and quieter: to hack a person, not a computer. It's called social engineering, and it's one of the most effective forms of deception in the digital world. Instead of breaking systems, you break trust. You make someone hand you the keys, thinking they're keeping themselves safe. Malone studied his targets like puzzles. He analyzed habits, email patterns, recovery methods, anything that revealed how they reacted under pressure. Serrano would then step in, using confidence and timing to make the trick believable. They weren't just stealing passwords. They were rewriting reality for their victims. Every message, every fake alert, every phone call was a move in a slow, calculated game. And as their plans started to take shape, neither of them seemed to realize how close they were to crossing from brilliance into crime. The perfect scam. They set the trap with a simple, believable trick. First came the fake Google alerts, carefully timed emails that looked real enough to make a busy person worry. The alerts suggested someone had tried to access the victim's account, and they prompted a quick, panicked response. That tiny spike of fear was exactly what Malone and Jandiel needed. Next, one of them called calm and authoritative, and said they were Google support. The voice was confident, the story matched the fake alerts, and the script asked for verification codes and permissions. People want to trust a helpful voice when their security might be at risk. That trust was the key. Once the victim was primed, they asked for remote access. AnyDesk, a legitimate remote desktop tool, was their gateway. The victim, convinced they were getting help, installed the software and allowed access. A window opened, and with it, the illusion of control. What looked like troubleshooting became a doorway into someone else's life. From there, it was methodical. They dug through OneDrive, found backup files and exchanged confirmations, and discovered private keys and wallet info. With those keys, they did not need to guess passwords or break encryption. They simply moved the funds. 4,100 Bitcoin. Gone. No malware, no brute force, just psychology. It sounds almost absurd until you realize how easy it is to bend people when you know what makes them panic. Listen to that number again, because it will not leave you. 4,100 Bitcoin vanished in one sweep. If you thought a heist that size required complex code, think again. What followed was not chaos, but a calculated cleanup, and the fallout would be both spectacular and inevitable. The Crypto Playboy. Almost overnight, Malone's world transformed. The quiet gamer from Singapore became a self-made millionaire in Miami. He rented glass-walled penthouses overlooking the ocean, filled garages with Ferraris, McLarens, and Lamborghinis, and spent nights under neon lights where money didn't seem real anymore. He walked into high-end clubs and dropped $500,000 like it was pocket change. Champagne towers, private DJs, tables lined with celebrities and influencers. He wasn't hiding, he was performing. The new identity wasn't Greavy's anymore. It was a character built on excess. He gifted Hermes bags to models, handed out crypto-like party favors, and paid bar tabs in Bitcoin just to prove he could. People whispered about the mysterious young guy who had it all, who seemed untouchable. To Malone, it wasn't showing off. He called it networking. Every photo, every luxury car purchase, every tagged location built a clearer trail. The more he flaunted his success, the more visible he became. What looked like freedom was actually exposure, and somewhere in that glittering chaos, the walls were already starting to close in. The trail of digital breadcrumbs. While Malone was busy living like a movie star, investigators were quietly piecing the puzzle together. The blockchain, the very system he thought made him untouchable, became the map that led straight to him. Every transfer he made, every wallet he moved funds through, left a digital footprint that couldn't be erased. Behind the scenes, the FBI, the IRS Cyber Crimes Unit, and the Singapore police began working together. They followed the money the way detectives follow tire marks, transaction by transaction, hop by hop, across crypto mixers and shell wallets. What Malone didn't realize was that the blockchain doesn't lie. It records everything, forever. The turning point came when he tried to turn his digital fortune into something tangible, a luxury car dealership in Miami. He walked in, paid millions for a hypercar, and thought nothing of it. But that purchase triggered an automatic report, the kind that flags unusual payments. Investigators cross-checked the transaction with crypto addresses already under watch. Suddenly, the dots connected. For someone so smart, he forgot the internet never forgets. From that moment, the chase was on. Surveillance teams moved in, bank accounts were frozen, and the lavish lifestyle that once seemed endless began to shrink. The same digital trail that built his empire was now the evidence that would bring it crashing down. The fall of Malone Lamb. The end came quietly, without the drama he was used to creating. One morning, federal agents surrounded his Miami home. The garage that once roared with supercars now sat silent as officers rolled them onto flatbed trucks. His watches, his designer clothes, his phones, all seized. His crypto wallets were frozen within hours. The empire he built on illusion vanished as quickly as it had appeared. Malone Lamb was arrested and charged in the United States with conspiracy to commit wire fraud and money laundering. Each charge carries a potential sentence of up to 20 years in federal prison. In court documents, prosecutors called the scheme one of the most sophisticated cases of social engineering they had ever seen. He listened in silence, dressed in plain clothes, far from the neon glow of his Miami nights. As of now, he's awaiting trial in Washington, D.C., scheduled for 2025. No fast cars, no late-night parties, just court dates and cold reality. He wanted to rewrite the rules of the internet to prove he could bend a system built to be unbreakable. But in the end, those same rules caught him. The blockchain remembered what he tried to hide. The evidence he left behind told the story he thought he controlled. and the boy who once wanted to outsmart the world ended up trapped by the very code he thought made him free. The lesson. In the end, Malone's story isn't just about greed or genius. It's about trust. The same digital world that connects us also exposes us. Our entire lives now live behind passwords, verification codes, and the quiet assumption that the systems protecting us will never fail. But they don't have to fail, we just have to. All it took was one convincing voice, one fake alert, one moment of panic. A billionaire surrounded by every security measure money could buy, still handed over the keys, not because the code broke, but because human confidence did. Malone proved something no one wanted to admit, that the weakest point in any system isn't the technology, it's the person using it. And as our lives move deeper into the digital world, that truth becomes harder to ignore. This was just one heist, one story, one name. But the methods, the psychology, the manipulation, they're spreading fast. Because in a world built on trust and data, the next Malone Lamb might already be watching, waiting, and learning. It wasn't the code that broke, it was human confidence. And this might just be the beginning of a new era of cybercrime. So, what's your take on the story of Malone? Let us know in the comments. And if you found this interesting, hit that like button and subscribe for more jaw-dropping stories.